Okay, so the reviews have started rolling in for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And from what I've been told, this is a non-glazer review for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This man keeps it honest, and I can already tell he's a fan. He has Raging Blast 2 and Xenoverse 2 in the background. Gameology, why Dragon Ball Sparking Zero feels so familiar and not in a good way. Ooh, I almost want to peek at these comments. Uh-oh. Oh, the Glazers are in full force. He must have had an opinion that isn't 100% glazing the game. God, the Sparking Zero community has already destroyed itself to where the other communities don't want to even interact with it. I can already see some of these comments. So you want a competitive fighting game? Uh-oh, he must have said he wanted some skill in this game beyond just mashing buttons and getting the surfboard kick. Let me watch it. I'm actually more interested to watch now. 16,000, yeah, the Sparking Zero Glazers must have gotten together in their little Discord server to try to dislike bomb this video. I'm gonna give it a chance. I trust the word of a 2 million subscriber channel over little Sparking Zero Glazers that suck at Dragon Ball Fighters and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So they want to clutch the Sparking Zero like it's their last hope. So let's go ahead, let's watch it. Why Dragon Ball Sparking Zero feels so familiar and not in a good way. Sparking Zero brain cells be damned. Let's go.
Can you spot what's wrong with these two Dragon Ball Z games? They show the same scene, Goku and Vegeta battling it out in a Utah-looking desert. It's a classic clash that took DBZ into the modern era. And with the new engine, you can likely pick out which one is the newest game, Sparking Zero. But which one is the second newest? Does the gameplay look different?
Yeah, all they did, literally, it looks almost, except Burst Limit looks better. It looks almost like Burst Limit. All they did was take away the anime candy color graphics for a couple of games. And really, they put it back in with Dragon Ball Fighters and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. But they put it back in Arena Fighter format with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero effort, Sparking Zero skills required, Sparking Z. The game is just trash, but I want to see what he has to say.
Faster, smoother, tighter, closer to the source material. Besides the graphics, it's almost impossible to tell. And that's the problem. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is looking to switch up the DBZ arena.
Now, I will say this. There are more nuances than what he's made here because Xenoverse 2, Raging Blast 2, and BT3 all require more skill than Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero, everyone plays the same. It's just a Fortnite game, and it fits it because it has a Fortnite user interface. All the characters play the same. They're just the amount of differences between characters are the amount of differences between Fortnite skins. There are no differences. Everyone gets a knockaway combo. Square, knock away. Oh, it's time to charge my key. Or that little ugly surfboard kick that nobody has any differences in. Everyone does the exact same animation. And those are the only differences. But if you play Xenoverse 2, everyone has a different stamina break combo. Everyone has different mobility combos, like your square triangle, or what would they call it? XY or XX or square, like Jiren has his square, where he'll have a mobility cancel where he can get in and out of situations. Bardock has it. Characters play different. There are different archetypes of characters. Whereas in Sparking Zero, you don't have that. Same thing with Raging Blast 2. Everyone has different cancel sets. You had signature cancels. You had different like key blast cancels, key charging cancels, super cancels, signature cancels. You had tons of different cancels in that game. And of course in BT3, everyone played differently depending upon what character archetype you had. So Sparking Zero doesn't have any of that. And anytime you bring it up as a inferior game, they want to say it's a competitive game. Well, you address the fact that it's not a competitive game. They say, well, it's not meant to be a competitive game. It's supposed to be an immersive Dragon Ball game. Oh, we say, well, no, it's not immersive. And Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has more story relevance. It has more to do in this game as the immersive Dragon Ball experience. Well, it's not meant to be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's not meant to have an immersive story mode. Blah, 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 blah. They got every excuse in the book. You can tell that that's how they conduct themselves in life. When you address what they're not doing in life, well, I got an excuse. This happened, that happened, this happened. Well, it's just like they do with these video games. They got every excuse as to why the game isn't up to snuff. And when you address that excuse doesn't make sense, they try to go to another excuse and go to another excuse. That's all these little idiots do. But again, I feel like he is, to a degree, it's just another Dragon Ball Arena fighter, but dumbed down. When you put modern battle-assisted controls in this game, that's all that you need to hear. This is a dumbed-down game. It doesn't require any effort. There is no learning curve. There is no skill curve.
Formula, but the truth is, it fails to switch up the formula at all. There have been
that's true.
100 titles in the DBZ franchise, from the sublime to the absurd. But when Dragon
so he likes Dragon Ball Fighters, okay.
Fighter template back in 2002 with the introduction of the Budokai series.
Whoa, we got to address this. Okay, look. Dragon Ball Budokai series is non-arena fighter. Okay. When we say arena fighter, we mean the over-the-shoulder perspective, big arena. You can travel all over the arena. This Budokai 1, 2, and 3 are more so traditional fighters with flight, where they do the 2.5D movement like Tekken and Soul Calibur, except they have flight and special attack. So this is the first point I'm gonna have to disagree with him on. These are not arena fighters. Right here, these are not arena fighters. Not at all.
The franchise has felt like it's been stuck in a hyperbolic time chamber. With over 20 different DBZ arena fighters released in the past 20 years.
Whoa. So, again, half of these on this list, Budokai 1, 2, and 3 are not arena fighters. Burst Limit is not an arena fighter. Legends, a gacha game. I get it does the over-the-shoulder thing, but I mean, if you wanted to split hairs, okay. Well, like, technically, yeah, but I would not count it. Dragon Ball Fighter is definitely not an arena fighter. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is. So the Budokai Tenkaichi games are sagas. I call that an RPG before I call that a fighter. Xenoverse, of course, arena fighter. Rage of Blast, yes. And Super, is he talking about Super Dragon Ball Z or Super Battle? I don't think I'm familiar with this game now. I'll go check it out. But half of these games are not arena fighters. Half of them. So I think he's wrong there. I think he's lumping a lot of them in. And yeah, Sparking Zero does not change the formula at all. It actually does a lot of steps back. Not just several steps back, but like a lot of them.
Sparking Zero promises to be more of an exercise in nostalgia than an actual competitive fighting game.
But she's got a new hat.
Dragon.
That's right. That fits so well. But Goku's got white hair now. But Goku's got Skittles color hair now. But it's a dumbed down fighting game. It's not even up to snuff for Xenoverse 2. It's not up to snuff for BT3. It's not up to snuff for Raging Blast 2. But Skittles hair transformations. Like, really. Honestly, I could do away with all of Dragon Ball Super except maybe take Vados, maybe take Chila. I don't like the new Broly. Again, character design wise, like the way the character looks is okay. I just do not like his characterization. I don't like the little soft boy emo. Oh, but he's like 50 years old, but he's acting like an emo teenager Broly who doesn't know how to fight, but is training at 50 to learn. Like, it's so dumb. Everything in that story is so dumb. I'm not liking the fact that Goku is having to relearn lessons again. He's already learned the lazy transformation. Like, I could honestly just take Vados, Chila. We'll take Jiren because he's a good. He would even fit in the original Z trilogy. He would fit in there too. We'll take him and the Pride Troopers. We'll take Kel, Kefla, redone, by the way, reworked. I would not let them get all out of control like they did. We would rework them sufficiently. Mark Rita will take Belmont, the guys of the destruction. But we would rework their positions too, to where they're not following Zeno. Like, it's a lot. Like, Dragon Ball Super could be recrafted into something interesting. It's made so many mistakes. Like, and that's before you even talk about things like the animation issue.
Dragon Ball fans deserve better.
Yes, we do.
I've been a huge Dragon Ball fan since I stumbled.
Should have been
across it.
Xenoverse 3 to be honest, but again, I feel like we could make it with just Xenoverse 2.
It means more to me than any other animated franchise. I name my cat Piccolo and sometimes dress him up like Lord Beerus. That's why I need Dragon Ball Z to do better. Looking back on the past is comforting, but
I mean, they're not ever gonna do better. Look at them. They put the movie characters in and didn't even put all the side characters in with them. You got Janemba, no Hell, no Pycon. You got Bardock, no Team Bardock, no Fasha. You have Bojack, no Zangia, no Team Bojack. You got Turles with no Crusher Core again. You got all this stuff, half-ass roster with only the mainline characters that like they just don't take chances anymore with the roster. It's not even like it's taking chances. People want the large mammoth roster, and it does not mean 40 Gokus and Vegeta. Like the acceptable Vegeta reskin that people wanted in King Vegeta, you didn't even put him in. The acceptable Vegeta reskin that people wanted, like Vegeta Jr. from the finals of Dragon Ball GT, the final episodes, that Hero's Legacy, you didn't put him in there. You didn't put Goku Jr. Like the actual reskins we wanted. You didn't put them in, but you put 15 and 20 and 30 and 40 Gokus and Vegetas in this game. Also, you didn't have to change animations. Also, you just had to slap together lazy, ugly looking super attack. Like this franchise is fried. Sparking Zero is trash.
But we can't live in it forever. We deserve either a transformative leap forward for the series or a sequel to the only transcendent Dragon Ball game over the
Yeah, he likes Dragon Ball Fighters. Okay, so Dragon Ball Fighters, I will say this. I don't feel like it's the direction that's needed because, again, the roster is limited. They're better than Sparking. I will give them that, but that's not the direction to go. Any game is better than Sparking. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is better than Sparking, but it has no PvP. I almost argue if you want to say which is the better role play game, Dragon Ball The Breakers is the better role play game. So like that exceeds Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, but it's not the direction we need to go. I don't feel like we need Xenoverse 3 right now, especially when all you have to do is just add the DLC, bro. Just give us more characters, more DLC packs. Every DLC pack needs to be 5 characters or more. Like, just give us a higher frequency of DLC because that is your moneymaker. That is your highest current players. That is the game that has stood the test of time and is tried and true. You need to be sticking to that. But no, let's waste time on Sparking Zero, zero effort, like zero skill required. And I just don't think we need to go in the Dragon Ball Fighters direction either. I feel like that game has quieted down. And the evidence is there. There's been no new DLC. I think Android 21 was the last one, and they didn't get any more DLC characters. You can't tell me you didn't have anyone you could have thought of that would have been suitable for that game. It's just nobody was playing it to justify them making DLC for that game. So I will not agree with them on that.
Ball Sparking Zero, and unfortunately, my fears were confirmed. This is deja vu all over.
Welcome back to this U.S. Open office plan.
Google.
Way over Jones's head using some technical.
Now, the Sparking Zero graphics are the best they've ever been. And I applaud them for having destructible environments and trees that sway when hit with key power, but
I love how when we talk about flaws for Sparky Zero, man, you are not gonna notice that while you playing the game. Ugly Gohan character, you not gonna notice that when you play the game. Well, I'm not gonna notice the smoke or the trees blowing either. You're playing a fighting game. Those are not things that matter. But you know what does matter? The fact that you can throw a super attack and the game that so-called has destruction in it, you don't get trenches or craters. Right? You have a couple of more obstacles on the West City stage that break apart when you directly hit them. And that's destruction, really. Yeah, they know what people mean when they talk about destruction. I remember people were trying to glaze this game earlier on, talking about, oh, Unreal Engine 5 has a nanite feature or some feature or blah, blah, blah feature that allows them to break the stage apart in chunks so they could actually do this. So they didn't. They didn't. It's the same crap you see in Dragon Ball games all the time. It's no, like Ultimate Tenkaichi was the last one to do real destruction with real trenches under your attacks, real craters, real evidence of battles having taken place. And Sparking Zero is just a lie. It's a fraud. It's a scam. It lied about having destruction, and now people want to switch up and, well, it has the little smoky, but it doesn't have craters. It's no destruction, you liar, you idiot, you twit. It is a scam. This game is a scam.
Graphics alone do not make a game. When you dissect
Thank you! Thank you! He said it. Let's go back. I want to hear that again. It was music to my ears. That's music to my ears.
graphics alone do not make a game. When you dissect
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Graphics alone do not make a game. We don't care about my visuals. We do not care about my visuals. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. That I see now why the little idiots were acting up in the comment section, because he said what they don't like to hear. My visuals are not a selling point. It is just trash. This game is trash. The game is trash.
the match, it's much slower than it looks. Real impact and damage is far apart. And it doesn't have the back and forth, keep them guessing momentum battles of top fighting games.
Okay, I like what he said there. Xenoverse 2 has that back and forth, the footsies, the positioning, jockeying for position, trying to get in on your opponent. Sparking Zero is so boring to watch. And I imagine it's boring to play too, because all you do is square, 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 knock away. Oh, me change my key. Because doing combos doesn't get you sufficient key. So you have to sit there, waste time, key charge, and not getting in on your opponent. And that's what makes the game so boring. Just two people miles apart, charging up key. You're supposed to be fighting. You're supposed to be getting in there, throwing blows, throwing hands, taking your turns, getting in there. You know, like point, counterpoint. You're supposed to be fighting back. Offense and defense. I just sit there, let me charge my key, bro. Let me change my key, bro. I don't want to take my charge on my key. No, fight. Get in there and fight. Quit being a punk. Fight. I hate people. I hate watching those fights. It's so boring. It is so boring and monotonous to watch. That's why nobody's gonna watch it on YouTube. Because nobody's gonna sit there, oh wow, they're charging key. Oh wow, boring. That's why nobody picks key charge skills in Xenoverse 2. If you didn't know, like, yeah, you could charge key, but people want to throw them hands. You want to get in there and fight. It's a fighting game. You fight. Yes, you can have the ability to charge key, but that's when your opponent has really messed up, but you should be able to get in there and fight. This game is boring.
We're seeing stagnation in the gameplay sphere, where Sparking Zero is extremely similar to the last several dozen Dragon Ball Arena fighters. It feels more like the return of the EA Sports College Football franchise than a new spin on Dragon Ball. Updated graphics with familiar controls. And I need to talk about those controls, because if you've ever wondered what it's like to be one of the Z fighters, turn elsewhere, because the controls are not great. Dragon Ball is
I'm not surprised. You introduced baby mode controls. Simplified, dumbed down baby mode controls for stupid people that don't want to learn inputs, they don't want to learn specific character combos or animations or cancels. Everything battle assistant mode. And even if you don't have that on, it's still simplified down to either knockaway combo or ugly surfboard kick combo. At least Xenoverse 2 has so many combos, heavy combos, light combos, heavy light combos, character specific cancels. You have different ways to get in and get out. You have awoken specific cancels. This game, Super Saiyan 3 Goku plays exactly the same as base Goku. There's no difference. This game, again, is just Fortnite. You got a Fortnite user interface for a Fortnite game where all the characters don't function like characters. They're more like Fortnite skin. That's the depth of this game. It's Fortnite skin. No wonder they were working so closely with Fortnite and they picked up on their laziness.
At its best when it delivers on fighting and yelling. And Sparking Zero does have a dedicated yell button. Yelling makes your special bar max out, and then you can pull off bigger moves and Kamehamehas, but it comes at the cost of pacing.
Yep.
Freezes you in place.
And what I was saying, pacing just sucks in this game. It's boring to watch, boring to play, boring to watch, boring to play, boring to watch. And that, again, it makes entire subclasses of characters like androids completely so. Because like now, you've made a character like Android 17 or Android 18. They're completely useless because guess what? They can't charge key. There you go. They suck. You can't use them. So like you basically like there's no purpose to have them. Just remove them out of the game because they can't charge key. You freaking dumbasses.
Special bar fills up, leaving you vulnerable to attack. Sure, that's part of DBZ, but it still makes the game feel clunky. And here's why. It's because the controls are too complex for casuals, but not technical enough for hardcore gamers.
Yep, that's the exact issue.
Budokai 1, and transitioning from ground to air combat is still awkward. Locking on doesn't feel right. Ascending and descending could be streamlined. And it's not always clear if you whiffed a beam because of something you did, or if you just weren't on the right plane. You might even find yourself fighting underwater, but doesn't slow you down or change anything at all.
Oh, that's another thing. So this is supposed to be the most detailed Dragon Ball game, right? But they don't do anything like when you're flying over the water parts aside, you get like those big tides or waves or whatever. When you knock someone into the water doesn't part aside, like you see the ground below the water, and like it just leaves like this big separation of the water or anything like that. They don't do anything like that. And even so, like in the Dragon Ball Z Cooler movie, like when they were fighting under the water, or in the Namek Saga with Frieza, when they fought in the water, the characters were slowed down. The physics did not change. But in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Effort, they didn't do any of that. It's just literally just a filter. The water is wet. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect combat at all. It's just stupid. It's stupid. It's just I don't get why you would even why not put effort into this. It's pathetic.
Put on a slightly different filter. The best fighting games, like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Under Night In-Birth, feel like you're mimicking character motion, gathering power, and pushing a button to release it. There's an emphasis on frame advantage, timing, and spacing that can mean the difference between victory and defeat.
Oh yeah, again, Sparky Zero has none of that. See, in Xenoverse, we have things that have frames and require timing and actually knowing your character. But in Sparking Zero, where they function like Fortnite skins, you don't have any of that because they just want it for stupid people to get attracted to shiny graphics, but shiny visuals. Yeah, that'll wear out in like 2 months. That'll be over. And they'll move on to the next thing. Again, this game is shaping up to be a bigger failure than Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles.
Becomes more of a dance at a higher level. Meanwhile, Sparking Zero feels like you're controlling a tank from very far away, and it's frustrating. Even the best fighting games can sometimes devolve into button mashing, but this is so counterintuitive that it borders on parody, which, hey, might be appropriate. Have you ever watched a Dragon Ball fight? It's all fast punches that don't hit, a knockdown, and a beam to finish it. It's awesome.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. This is a game. It's a fighting game that is using the Dragon Ball property. You're supposed, like, again, Raging Blast 2 gets this right. BT3 gets this right. You're supposed to have cancels and different ways of getting in and out of hitting your opponent. You're supposed to have punishes. You're supposed to, again, Xenoverse 2 had this. This is where I get on Xenoverse 2 a little bit. So they buckled and they kind of catered to the babies a little bit. Remember, we had like heavy stamina break, right? And that was meant to be the big punish for you to set up your moves. And when the game was pre-patched, you actually had a reason to use heavy stamina break over light stamina break. But all the babies got on Twitter because they don't like playing fighting games. They like role playing like they play fighting games, right? And unless it's baby down for dumbasses, they don't play fighting games, right? So when they had punishes in Xenoverse 2, that was like, okay, you messed up, you got in this combo, you got heavy stamina broken, it's time to eat this ultimate. No, I don't like panting and then being heavy stamina broken, take it away, and they got it taken away. So now there's no point of having a heavy stamina break combo. I feel like they need to patch that back in, but again, it's just it's a tale of how the audience of Dragon Ball fighting games, they're just pieces of crap. They can't play fighting games, so they try to gravitate to Dragon Ball games. They feel like that's the easier ground to conquer, right? They can't cut it in Tekken or Street Fighter. They even gave them Dragon Ball Fighter to role play like they're playing a fighting game. They got their asses whipped by the FGC community. Notice that all the Dragon Ball tubers ran away from that game just as quickly as they filed into it. Like, finally, we got a legitimate Dragon Ball fighting. Oh, and in a couple of months, all that hype went away because they started getting that ass whipped. Where was Steedoge on that game for all the bitching he does about Xenoverse 2? Oh, he couldn't hack it in that game, so he got his ass off of it. Same for Burko. Same for all the little Dragon Ball big YouTuber glazers. They got their punk asses off that game because they couldn't cut it. So now Sparking Zero, this baby down, modern assistant controls. They see that as their second chance of trying to do something relevant, and it ain't cutting it because this game is trash. It's nothing but Fortnite skins with a Fortnite user interface, with no Fasha, with no Team Bardock, with none of the hardcore characters because they're lazy.
To watch. But when you're watching Goku punch so fast that those frames repeat, or is moving faster than your eyes can clock, that's primarily so animators don't have to draw as much. But it doesn't translate well to gameplay. Playing it is a different beast. It sucks all the energy out of something that, in the anime, was deliberately paced that way to save budget. So, what does Sparking Zero have going for it? Well, for one, there's a huge roster. Unfortunately, there's almost no character differentiation.
Thank you! He addressed it!
Combos. Functionally, they're
yeah, they all share the same surfboard kick, the same knockaway combo. It all looks the same. The only thing that they did, they tried to make Jiren the new Gogeta, which is so disrespectful to the BT3 fans because Gogeta is now trash. They don't even do the same thing for him. They just gave Jiren, they made his combo look sloppy and ugly. They sat up there and just sped it up like 4 or 5 times, made him that damn fast, which makes the combo look choppy and ugly, and it's pumped up the damage. That's all they did. But he still plays like all the other characters in the game. There's no differences. There's nothing to master. There's no, oh, I'm gonna play. Oh, what's the point of being one character main over the other when they all of them play the same? Like, if you're a Cooler main, you're a Frieza main because both of them play the same. There's no differences. If you're a Broly main, it's the same as being a Videl main. It's the same as being an Android 18 main because all the characters play the same. And the only little minuscule differences might be the super attacks, which again, is all baby down. It's all trash.
Closer to a dozen or so character types, and that's being generous. With 182 slots, who's champing at the bit to play characters like Nail and Kakunsa? If they're gonna go,
I'm saying, no one wanted Kakunsa, Rosie. They really could have done without Ripgan. Those are the characters that people expressively dislike. You could have included the Universe 6 Namekians. You didn't. You could have included more forms for Caulifla. You didn't. You could have included Fasha and Team Bardock, which are again characters people love that they want them in the games. You didn't put them in the game. You could have put Super Saiyan Bardock in the game. You didn't. Oh, that's right. You went with the trash Dragon Ball Super variation of Bardock. You didn't give him his Grade 8 form. You put a bunch of trash D-list Dragon Ball Super characters nobody cared about in this game instead of focusing on the characters people did want from the retro generation of Dragon Ball games from DT3. You didn't even put King Vegeta in it. You already went over this. No King Vegeta, no Vegeta Jr., no Goku Jr. The characters that were essentially redos and clones of characters, people that people actually wanted. You didn't put them in the game, but you put trash like Kakunsa and Rosie in this game. You could have put Hops and Sorrel in the game. Oh no, that would have been more Universe 9 characters. Nope, can't have that. Nope. We're gonna put the low effort trash characters in the game that nobody wants.
I want some crazy characters. Bulma in a robot. Taco's shirt Krillin.
He's trolling. Okay, he's doing a little bit of trolling here.
Shotgun. tribute to Toriyama by having one of his self-inserts be playable.
No tribute to Toriyama! No tribute to him! Wow! Sparking Zero is supposed to be the authentic Dragon Ball game with no tribute to Toriyama-san? Fuck you.
There's an aspect of power scaling in Sparking Zero that's supposed to reflect the show's lore. Someone like Super Saiyan Blue Goku hits several times harder than Yamcha, which he well should, but that's a poor substitute for balance. Other games represent power differential.
Exactly. Again, that's what they did for Jiren. They just he still plays exactly the same. They just pumped up the damage and made his animations choppy to give him the illusion of speed. They just made him trash. That's all they did. They made him trash. Amongst other trash, but still trash, because he looks like choppy trash. Just unbalanced garbage.
Different moves and impact. Still, because every Sparking Zero character feels the same with only slight differences, the best we can hope to get is the occasional character-specific power-up animation. But exploring a bunch of different martial arts styles, whether it's MMA or drunken boxing, brings life into fighting games. Street Fighter VI launched with 18 characters. For the most part, they played differently and oozed with unique styles. Grapplers, rushdown characters, zone types, stance types, and a bunch.
You know what? He brings up a good point. You got a Broly that does not play like a grappler or a brawler. He just plays like everyone else. He doesn't have any clotheslines, any wrestling moves, any good super attacks, any good physical rush supers, anything like that. He just plays like everyone else, has a generic key blast. He doesn't even have the authentic, unique Broly stuff. Like, it's trash. Garbage. Where's his gigantic hammer? Like that move from BT3. Oh, you didn't put it in the game? You didn't even, like, they could have done something cool, like giving him the Budokai 3 version of gigantic meteor, where he did the rush down, like he punched Goku in the face and then slammed him into the ground, creating a crater, and then did the ultimate technique. Nah, they won't do that for this game. They're lazy. And they're pieces of trash that don't even care about Akira Toriyama's work, beyond making a quick buck off of it.
Chun-Li has a different philosophy behind her than Zangief and demands a different playstyle. This doesn't really seem to be the case in Dragon Ball, where all characters are slight variations of Goku. Sparking Zero only has two archetypes, normal and big. It's not an entirely new mechanic, but it was a bit different to play as Oozaru Vegeta, a giant ape form that moved very slowly and had harder.
Yeah, but guess what? Because they've done what they've done, giant characters are irrelevant. They suck. They suck. There's no point to them. They don't even play right. A lot of their hits whiff. And due to them having Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball GT in the game, they're highly irrelevant, because now they maintain the characters are powerful enough to stun them, so they don't make Great Ape Vegeta good in his own way, to where, oh, well, he has something for that. You actually have to be skilled to exploit that. No, it's just the exact same way. So it's like you might as well not even pick up the character.
But the controls are so floaty and tanky to begin with, it felt more frustrating than anything. So once you've played one character, you've basically played them all. Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you. Thank you for telling the truth. Thank you. How many times do these idiots need to hear this? The game sucks. There's no variations. I don't get why people are making tier lists. I mean, of course, because Jiren, but I don't get why people are, I'm going to main this character, I'm going to main that character. You're maining them all at once because they all of them play the same. Shut up, you stupid piece of trash. I'm maining this. No one cares. They're all the same. There's no differences. They remove the differences. It's just Fortnite skin. They all play the same.
Z games might be all about fighting and yelling, but Dragon Ball as a whole is so much more. And the games have a hard time bringing that sense of fun and confidence to the forefront.
Disney Speedstorm is available now on mobile and PC with Google Play Games.
Goku Goku himself was heavily influenced by Journey to the West. With his monkey tail, super strength, and martial arts abilities, as well as his mischievous nature, Goku is a modern-day Sun Wukong. As a matter of fact, Sun Wukong translates to Son Goku in Japanese.
Yeah, he's a real fan. Okay, he's an authentic fan. He's not just a random. He's a real fan.
There are moments along the way that would be perfect for a new game. For all the talking cats and horny sidekicks Goku might come across, there's a sense of world building that's missing when it's conveyed solely through punching. The anime hinges on big moments and relationships, like escaping the Red Ribbon Army with Bulma, or meeting Yamcha for the first time, or just how many bonds were formed during the first World Martial Arts Tournament. This game strips out all the context for these deep,
Yeah, because they don't have a story mode. Excuse. Here comes the excuse. That lazy episode. I see in BT2 did this where you could travel to Dragon Ball Z World and fly around and interact with different people. Like you had the opportunity to interact with Ader if you flew to the right point on the map, or Android 16, or the androids in general. You had different points in the story where you could fly around the entire map. You had that in Budokai 3 as well. You had that in different Dragon Ball games. But because Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is a cash-in, it doesn't even give you the real big roster. It's just 40 Gokus and 40 Vegetas, right? They don't really give you that authentic sparking experience. It's just a namesake cash grab. That's all it is, a nostalgia grab. A nostalgic cash grab. And again, people are seeing through it. This is a non-Glazer review. Thank you.
Meaningful friendships the Z family is built on. I don't fault Sparking Zero for being one thing or turning it into a gameplay type, but Dragon Ball is many things. You might think, well, Sparking Zero has a dedicated story mode, but at this point we've seen it.
Nah, I gotta disagree with that. It's just an arcade mode. It's just an arcade mode. It's not. Let's not disrespect the term story mode. It's arcade. Arcade with some trash-tastic scenes.
Dragon Ball games tread the same ground until it's paved over. The Game Boy games.
Oh no, that's a good point. They never cover all of GT. They never cover all the Shadow Dragons, because now you have giant characters. You don't have an excuse for Rage or Naturon Shenron. You don't have an excuse for them. You could have had playable Oceanus. You could have had all the Shadow Dragons partake in the story mode, and you didn't do that. You removed Super 17. You could have had an accurate Super 17 stage, like that big like crater in the ground. Like, you know how Naruto Storm series, when they decide to cover the story, they have all the scenes or all the stages in the game as playable stages or depicted in the story mode. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, it couldn't even do that. You couldn't even add Super 17, the authentic stage that went with his battle. You know, people would have loved playing that. Nope, couldn't give it to him because you want to be a lazy sack of crap. You couldn't even cover Team Bardock. You're going to give Bardock like his stage from the movie, the space stage. You couldn't even give him Super Saiyan. You were so lazy to put a red bandana. Oh, that's right, because you got the Dragon Ball Super variant as the Bardock in the game with that lame Jor-El BS he has going on. Yeah, you call yourselves authentic Dragon Ball fans. Fuck you.
Goku retold the Z story, but had Goku punching wolves. Kakarot retold the Z story in its entirety. Xenoverse retold the story with some what-if and time travel elements and included a somewhat lacking create a character.
I give it for Xenoverse 1, but it progressed definitely in Xenoverse 2. It got way better. Way better. I mean, what can you do? Because people are asking for stupid stuff like androids. They're just humans. Shut the hell up. Like, people are just asking for stupid stuff. Like, again, I feel like the only thing they really need to improve on is like adding like a fighting style selector for CACs. And people will be crying about that because people will pick what they actually want and not just sucky stuff like having Krillin's fighting style. But now they'll actually put stuff like Hit or Bardock or stuff that's actually good. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of players having freedom. Where Sparking Zero has removed all the freedom and have all characters playing exactly the same as one another. There's almost no point to picking one character over the other.
Sparking Zero also has a story mode, but it'll be thin. because we've seen it before.
Yep, with no new additions.
To challenge the player's perceptions rather than regurgitate it. Heck, where's the story of Dragon Ball pre-Z?
They don't have it. They got a ugly gremlin looking Kid Goku that does not look like Kid Goku. But they don't have Demon King Piccolo. They don't have all the characters that they had in BT3. They could have anteed up and added World Martial Arts Tournament 23 Chi-Chi, but didn't do that. They didn't add Ranfan or any of the other characters. No, they could have had a expansive Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball roster, but they didn't do it because they're lazy. Lazy. Disgustingly, I just disgustingly lazy. In the wake of Akira Toriyama. Pathetic.
How far will we get in the manga? Will we get manga-only characters like Moro?
Nope.
Play through some
And I don't blame Akio Yoku for blocking that. I don't blame him at all. Thank you. They don't deserve to milk that. Don't let them milk it, because they're not going to do it justice. They can't even do OG Dragon Ball justice. They can't even do the Dragon Ball GT justice. They can't even do Team Bardock justice. Don't let them, screw them. Don't let them have the manga stuff. They could go piss off.
Loved but still incredible movies like Super Android 13 or have Janemba's Hell as a stage.
Yep, they sure don't have that. No Janemba Hell, no PyCon, no anything.
Much ancillary content in the Dragon Ball world that is ripe for an adaptation that unfortunately will be left out for the greatest hits. And it could be a better love letter.
Yep, look, he wants Vegeta Jr., Goku Jr. But they'll just keep doing the same lazy ass shit. Oh, you got the movie characters? It's the same movie characters without their side characters. Wow, it's almost like you should have just not done those characters because you're lazy pieces of trash.
And feel like less of a money grab if they were acknowledged.
Yeah, it is a money grab.
We just get Frieza blowing up Krillin for the millionth time.
Yep.
In my opinion, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a much better use of the license and still has a robust...
I can't agree with you there. I cannot agree. Dragon Ball FighterZ is too limited. The roster is too limited. It did the anime cell shading look better than Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And even the Sparking Zero glazes, they'll go back. They always run from every point you get them on. It's not as competitive as a Dragon Ball game. Sparky, you're not trying to be competitive in Sparky. In Xenoverse 2 or Dragon Ball FighterZ, you're not supposed to be competitive. It's supposed to be an immersive Dragon Ball experience. Okay, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is the immersive Dragon Ball experience. It's not supposed to be Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's the whole thing. But they got an excuse for freaking everything. But I do not agree with Dragon Ball FighterZ being the way to go. I feel like it's okay. It's better than Sparking Zero, which is a low bar, let's be honest. But Sparking Zero is trash. Dragon Ball FighterZ, I don't think it's the direction to go. I feel like when they finally do get ready to justify a Xenoverse 3, that's the way to go. But if they can keep doing DLC for Xenoverse 2, we're just as content as getting that. We're like, we don't need anything else right now.
Fan base after 6 years. Ultimately, a sequel to that series would be a better overall direction for the franchise. It's had just one main release and a handful of DLC over the last 6 years, and is a fresh take.
Again, I gotta challenge that. They haven't done anything since releasing Human Android 21. And that's because the game is going down, buddy. There's not enough concurrent players on there for them to justify additional DLC. The game, again, I think it's better than Sparking Zero, but much like Sparking Zero, it's just a fad game. Like, everyone wanted their little traditional Dragon Ball Fighter. They got it. They got their asses beat in it, and they ran back to Xenoverse 2 or wherever the hell they were doing. Because, again, they found out they just suck in fighting games general. It wasn't Xenoverse 2's fault. It was their fault because they suck at games, and they don't want to admit it. So now Sparking Zero is a redo of all this, even though they know they're finna get their asses beat online. And if they don't play online, it's not an immersive experience like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So they've ran out of excuses. They're just raging against the cage because they're a bunch of morons.
A series, which is weird considering it's a 2D fighter. It's fast-paced and competitive. So much so that it had a presence at the EVO tournament for 5 of the last
Yeah, I'm gonna
6
let you
years.
get your glaze off for Dragon Ball Fighters, bro.
And for the most part, they play differently and include some fighting games.
I'll give them that. They all play differently. I'll give them that.
It's relatively balanced with only a few insanely OP characters, but they literally just released a patch for that. And the graphics are still gorgeous.
They're better than Sparky Zero. I will give him that.
That's true for most Dragon Ball games. Some moments that evoke nostalgia, like Gohan and Goku's iconic father-son Kamehameha, would be a whole ass level in a Budokai game. Why can't the Budokai series just give the fans what we all came to see from the jump? Fighter Z does the same thing in special moves that only last a few seconds.
There are those who factor.
I have to disagree with that. Yeah, I have to disagree with him on that. I just feel like you doing your little fighters glaze just a little bit. That's cool if you like fighters. But fighters, again, Xenoverse 2 does all that, especially with the festival skills. It does that better.
The games industry has a bad habit of releasing rinse and repeat sequels, and we tend to reward it by buying every new sports game or Call of Duty year after year. At least COD has a different story every time, but Dragon Ball still retreads familiar ground. Wanna see
Yep,
Goku's-
because they never put in actual new characters. Imagine if we got to start a Dragon Ball game by not starting on Goku, but starting on Bardock and Fasha and Team Bardock and the whole Knassen thing, and actually starting from where it really all started with Bardock. Oh, we won't get that because they're too lazy to put in Team Bardock, to put in the Great Apes and that whole thing. No, they don't want to do that. No, that's too much effort for them. They're just going to be lazy like they always are and just retread the same ground over and over and over again. You won't get an authentic ending to GT with like a surprise extra chapter with a world martial arts tournament fight with Vegeta Jr. versus Goku Jr. You won't get any of that, you know, as the actual end send-off to Dragon Ball, which was beautiful, by the way. No, they won't do any of that. They'll just be lazy as they've always.
Sacrifice via special beam cannon in the Saiyan saga? Here it is. But you can switch to a first-person camera this time.
Wow, what a beautiful gimmick.
Dragon Ball needs something
They've always
more
done this
in
trash.
execution.
It's a new gimmick.
Whatever the Dragon Ball equivalent to Slow Clap's 2021 game Sifu, a 2D, 3D phase-shifting game like Pokken Tournament, or maybe something tight and technical with balanced, ranged, and melee combat, like Armored Core 6. According to Bandai sales data, the Dragon Ball franchise has experienced diminishing returns since 2020.
You want to know what happened? You slowed down on the Xenoverse 2 DLC, which you should have maintained at least 4 packs a year. And again, 4 packs meaning 20 characters, 5 characters per pack. You should have maintained that, which would have made you more money. Instead, you went down on the packs. You did 1 or 2 a year, which cut your money in half. And then you started focusing on what? Dragon Ball Z The Breakers, which nobody cares. And Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which again, that only appeals to the story audience. Most people want to play PvP. You focus on Dragon Ball Fighters, and that ship didn't sell. Again, it's still better than Sparking Zero, but again, Sparking Zero will do what Hinokami Chronicles did. It'll sell well initially. It might get 1 million or 2 million units, but it'll quickly die off, just like Jujutsu Kaisen and just like Hinokami Chronicles. 100%, it'll die off in 2 months. It'll be dead before
It
Christmas.
requires innovation if it's going to continue at this clip. So why go back to the well for another nostalgia fest? Being the official Tenkaichi 4 could be the kick in the
Oh,
pants.
that's funny. They don't even have Fit Boo. They could have had Fit Boo. Well, I guess that's too much effort. That's new character model and new moves to think of. No, we're not going to put effort into our game. We're going to be lazy. Lazy Sparking Zero trash.
the franchise needs. But I think a new, exciting direction is the way to go. This game will no doubt sell millions on name recognition alone. Its
Sadly.
impact will quickly fade.
Yep, exactly.
Talk about it the same way years after release.
No, they won't. It'll be a flash in the pan.
Look back fondly and call Tenkaichi 3 a high watermark, and they deserve to be happy too. One of my friends is really excited about this game and couldn't give a flying nimbus about the game style being played out. I hope DBZ Sparking Zero is more than the same thing in prettier packaging. I hope it outdoes itself and is more fun than I got from the matches I played. Maybe it'll exceed expectations, but mine are very tempered. In the meantime, I'll be open for a better use of the license.
I have to disagree. No Dragon Ball Fighters 2. Please, no Dragon Ball Fighters 2. We need either more Xenoverse 2 DLC, because again, until you get ready to do a major gameplay modification off of Xenoverse 2 to Xenoverse 3, just don't do it. Just keep working on it. Keep working on better stages, more characters. But if you can keep on filtering in DLC for Xenoverse 2, that's sufficient. Just keep working on modifying the gameplay aspect of Xenoverse 3. Use all that time to make the gameplay just major improvements. Maybe Raging Soul combos, implement the cancel system, stuff like that. Maybe work on a fleshed out, create a move set for the CAC down to like every single punch. I can see them doing that, and if it takes them time to do that, and if they earn that time by making DLC characters, that's perfectly understandable. But Sparking Zero ain't it. Let me see if he had anything else to say.
You're watching a toothbrush play Billie Eilish.
Nope, that was it. So that has been Gameology. Why Dragon Ball Sparking Zero feels so familiar and not in a good way. Dude, yep. The little 15-year-old trash is here. Like the little generic, I'm just doing my thing and bye, bro. Yeah, we know all you little trashes, pieces of trash, work at McDonald's. You don't need to project. Dude, but that's all they say when someone is making sense and presenting points. It's yapping because they're too incompetent and stupid to understand a well-constructed reason as to why this game sucks. Terrible thing. L video, $100 well spent. No, you mean $100 of your stripper mommy's money. She went. I gave her she gave me a lap dance. I made it rain, and she got the little $100. Like, this is a trash game. Who else waiting on the 7th? Yeah, and all of you morons come out, man, we all got. The game sucks. I don't get why they keep doing it to goodbye. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Like, all that, man, bro, all that bullshit. Is why these games keep sucking, because of morons like you. A game brought to you by morons like you. Bro, put out a review without understanding the point of the game itself. The fact you're comparing it to a competitive fighting game. Oh, but why are people making tournaments? Because it's supposed to be competitive, you moron. It's not competitive. It's just Fortnite skins. It's Fortnite skins. That's all it is. It's Fortnite skin. They don't have any differentiation between the characters. It should be enough to invalidate your whole review because of the sheer incompetence a comparison like this shows. No, it is comparison. That's where you improve. You make your comparison to other things and it falls. It's faulty. It is trash. The older Budokai games were never balanced because they were single player games, you moron. It did have online to be considered, you asshat. Some characters were objectively way stronger. That's not what it's supposed to be. Yes, they should have their benefits that make them excellent characters, but there needs to be checks and balances of other characters having aspects of them that make them shine. Piece of trash. And that was by design. The game allowed you to play memes like Mr. J, blah, 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 dumbass piece of shit comment. Nobody cares. Game, oh, here it goes. Rage bait because he criticized the game, and he was very fair in his criticism. All this is just the Glazers. Of course, you knew the Glazers in their little Discord server somewhere saw this video, and they come out, I gotta defend the game. He's criticizing dumbass little immature statement. You gotta defend the inanimate object because it's your bitch. This game is your little imaginary bitch because you get Sparking Zero bitches in real life. So now you gotta defend the game because it's a piece of trash. Fuck Sparking Zero Glazers. You might beat the game, especially this piece of shit game, but nobody beats the end game of all games, Perfection of National Selection. Hit that subscribe button, enable all notifications. We out. I've seen enough of this piece of trash comment section. Again, great video by Gameology. Go watch the full review on his channel. It's great. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.